How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour to a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called The Another World, and we are going to start by reading the description on the mod hub. Welcome to The Another World. This region is totally fictitious in a Franco-Swiss style. You could wander around the reliefs of the map. It is made up of several farms such as pigs and horses, cows and sheep. High power will contribute to the load of your tools in the valleys. The average area of the fields is 0.9 hectares. Fields 232, 11 purchasable forests, water point available at the river and in the forest. Collectibles available, 20 points of sale available. Boar present in the forest, repair point available. Added 2 additional crops. Factory base available. Added 30 new production. Added realism with grassland for animal movement. Cleaning site available in the rivers. Clearing site in the quarry. Multiple farms available. License plate from the Normandy region. Season reworked for new crops. Precision farming also adapted to new crops. Author was Design Farming, Tina Inc., and the file size is 272.17 megabytes to download. Now we are going to start by looking at the map, and as you can see, it's a pretty busy map. Now, hold on to your seatbelts here, because there's going to be a lot to go over. This is a very involved map. This is almost to the level of La Coronella. There's so much stuff that's going on here. A lot of little fields, lots of like little kind of, I don't want to say like treasure hunts, but like little Easter eggs and just little details that I'm going to point out and just throw at you. This is a really cool map in my opinion. Lots of stuff going on, so sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy it. So, number 1, can we buy the periphery? Yes, we can. If we zoom in, and where would have, right here, there we go. You can buy the periphery for $5,426,040. It's pretty expensive, but you get a lot of various areas throughout, and including a lot of the production points and where those are located. Oops. There are collectibles on this map. If you go to your statistics screen and look at the bottom right hand corner, you can see collectibles collected, 0 of 20. We're going to take a look at the starting equipment. If you go to your owned items, the original slot count is 1,487 slots out of the 4,400. Mine is a little bit higher at this point because I added some government subsidy signs, hence the reason why I've got like 20 some odd $million. You need that money, or I need that money right off the bat, just because there's going to be lots of areas around the map that you can purchase, and I want to be able to show everybody where those purchase points are. And a lot of hidden slots are going to be found in those purchase point areas, so don't be intimidated because of the high slot count. There's a lot you can do, and you get a lot of starting equipment too. As you can see here, this whole screen is full. So let's start by going over what you start out with. Starting under the small tractors, you start with the New Holland T6155 as well as the Buer 6105. Under medium tractors, you got the Claas Oxeon 850 as well as the Massey Ferguson 3670. Under harvesters, you have the Deutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H. Under mowers, you got the EBCC 66. Under skid steers, you have the New Holland L318. Under cars, the Lizard Pickup 2017. Trailers, the Flegel ASW 271. You have the header for the Deutz-Fahr, as well as a Capello Diamant 8, the corn and soybean head, corn and sunflower header, but is also adapted to be able to take in those new crops as well, and I will show those in just a second. Under Power Heroes, you have the K-Brand HR4040, subsoilers, the K-Brand DC401, the K-Brand Ventra 4030 under seeders. Under planters, the K-Brand Maxima 3 till. Under sprayers, the Hardy Aeon 5200 Delta Force. Under mowers, the Convernland 4140L. Under teders, the K-Brand GF8712. Under windrowers, the K-Brand GA4731. Under balers, the K-Brand SB1290ID, the Massey Ferguson 1840, and the Anderson Bumper. Under bale loaders, you have the FarmTech DPW 1800. Under front loaders, you have the Quickie Q7M. Front loader tools, you have the Albut fork with grapple, the Albut round fork, and the Albut universal bucket. Under skid steer loaders, you have the Paladin pallet fork, the header trailer, the Tenwinkle FGB 600 weight, and under miscellaneous, you start with the Bachmann KK 3018/27H, as well as the MH-AL 4320/35. Whew, lots of starting equipment, lots of stuff. And you also have custom mods on this map. The map maker added the Amazon ZGTS 10,001. I'm not quite sure what's different between this and the normal Amazon. If you go under fertilizer spreaders, to me seems like the same. Yeah, don't know what's different about it. They also added the Amazon ZATS 4000. Now what I think is different about this one is this one takes both solid fertilizer and lime, and potentially that's what they were going for with this Amazon as well. They just doesn't appear to take the lime. They also have pallets as something that can be purchased that will become relevant later. There's also rapeseed meal, wheat meal, and soybean meal. Those will also become relevant later. Also under custom mods, there are a bunch of different barns and sheds that can be purchased. There are several silos. As best as I can tell, what's different between these silos and, say, the base game silos are the fact that these take not only the base game grains, like the normal base game silos, but these also are adapted to handle the other modded... Oh, don't tell me. Crops. The other modded crops. That's the word I was looking for. There are no modded silo extensions. There is a modded container, the large petrol tank. There is no modded tools, and there are 2 modded farmhouses. Under productions, that's where we're going to see a lot as well. Tons of different productions added into this map. Tons of different ones, and we'll go through each one of them and you'll see all the different things that they can do. Under selling points, there are several sell points that have been added to the map. No greenhouses, no orchards, and the generators that have been added down here are from the government subsidy mod list. I added these myself in order to bring in additional money for this map tour. Under animals, you have modded cows, modded horses, modded pigs, modded sheep, modded chickens, no modded bees, or others. There were no fences that were modded, but there were lights that were modded, and no modded others. And then lastly, under painting, lots of different modded painting textures. So, we begin here at our starting farm with our farmhouse. What do we start out with? We start out with our farmhouse with the sleep trigger, as well as over here a wardrobe trigger. Here's our pickup truck, On the starting farm, we do have chickens that we can start out with. If we just go ahead and add some, why not? You'll see them just kind of floating around the yard. The grass is so tall that a lot of them kind of hide out in the grass. But they just kind of run around the yard. Oh, there's one right there just hunting down. Nice. Several little small storage spaces. Our viewer is there. Our skid steer is just tucked away in the back of everything. Got to get everything out of its way. Feed point for the chickens is here. Our Bachmann trailer right there. And that's pretty much it for the first main portion of the farm. And what we're going to do is start heading out from here. Let's see, let me make sure I've got everything. Oh, I didn't show what custom crops are. Wheat, durum, and mustard seeds are the custom crops on this new mod map. Now, I will be referring to the map at many points throughout this tour because there's a lot of things to cover, like I mentioned before, and I don't want to miss out on anything or get anybody lost along the way because there's a lot of stuff going on. So here is where we're going to turn for our first point of interest. And we are going to do a little bit of mountain climbing. Now, one thing I will say, there's going to probably need to be an update to this map right away. There's several things wrong with the map, and we'll come across those throughout the tour. Another thing I will say is drive very slowly. Do not get in a hurry on this map because there's so many different kind of bumps and stuff that are not necessarily like that they should be there. In my opinion, they shouldn't be there. And if you're going, 74 miles an hour in this vehicle, you're going to go flying. You're going to go into orbit kind of thing. And I've done that a couple of times on this, not this particular tour, but my previous tour when I was getting familiar with the map. So, this is our first point of interest. Well, nothing appears to be here. This is one of those areas where you have to purchase the land in order for the triggers to show up. So, we came from the farm here, pulled straight out, straight down, and then up this kind of switchback road to get up to the top. You purchase this area for $864,816. And look at that. You have a new pop-up. You got a water input and a feed input, but what are we feeding? Well, for that we have to go back down to the base of the mountain. To right here. State Preserve. This is the Wild Boar Forest. It's essentially a pigsty, or a pig pasture, as you would. But you see down here, there's a new pig type. Looks like they basically just replaced the Berkshires with this here, the Wild Boar. And you can we'll go ahead and purchase 60 of these. And now, if we come up the hill, we have boar running around. And he just flopped. But I can tell you, you come across a wild boar like that, he ain't just gonna flop over. You're not gonna have a good day. But yeah, just a pig pen, pig pasture, place for you to be able to hold a whole bunch of pigs and fatten them up and sell them off. Now we're going to head further south to our next point of interest. Just very quickly, I am going to point this out, even though it's not technically a point of interest, at least as far as I can tell. This area right here to my left is purchasable, and it looks like it's just kind of a holding area for maybe some equipment. It looks kind of unfinished. I mean, bare minimum, it's just key detail, like details of like the fort on the hill back there. It's so cool. Like this, there's so much going on in this map that it's almost overwhelming at times, that there's just a lot of details, but it's, I think, a good problem to have, in my opinion. Now, this is your first production point. This is the Wild Boar Grain Mill. You can purchase it for $96,000, and it does have a little bit of customization to it. You can do your wheat flour, your barley flour, oat flour, and sorghum flour, just like the normal base games. And you can just make normal flour, but you can also make durum wheat flour from that wheat durum. That's the new crop type. So that's pretty cool. You can make a new type of flour, and later on can use it towards other productions. Inputs right here, outputs right here. Here we're gonna quickly turn around, and we need to make a left here, and we're just gonna cut this person off. It's okay. Oh, that's something I was going to mention. So one of the issues I've been noticing on the map that might require an update, you can see like these little like patches of like where the asphalt is kind of missing and being engulfed by this other kind of painting texture. I don't know if it's meant to do that or if that was an issue when porting from PC to consoles. But you had seen a similar issue over by the farm, and a more pronounced issue over by the farm. This is our next point of interest, and again, this is something we have to purchase. So we're going to go to our map, and I'll show you exactly where we've been. So we're up here on the top of the mountain, which is the Boar Forest. We came back down around the switchback out to the main road, came all the way down south, checked out the Wild Boar Grain Mill. And then now we're here. We need to purchase this plot of land as well as this plot of land. And purchasing that first plot here also purchases field 18, which is nice. This is a sheep pasture. You can purchase up to 450 sheep for this pasture. And we saw food there, water down there. Straight in front of us is the chicken trigger, where you can open the animal dialogue and purchase up to 70 chickens. Food goes in here. And this is the sheep barn. You can purchase up to 150 sheep to go in here. Feed goes in here, and they are automatically watered. You also have a Pharma 500 silo. Again, I believe the difference is that it takes the base grains plus the addition of the two modded crops. Pallets spawn right here for the sheep, so you'll get their wool right from there. And now we are heading down to our next point of interest. Like you saw that little bump right there that I just went over. You can see like a lot of grass is growing over the road and stuff, like the grass texture and stuff like that. I don't know, it just seems like those are just kind of, you know, possible issues that with the port over. Hopefully an easy fix. There's some other issues that I've found along the tour that you know, will also need to be addressed, but we'll come across those. This is our next point of interest. This is another purchase point, and we were here at this kind of secondary farm. Came out up to this road, went north to this intersection, went west, and came up to here. You can purchase this for $77,760. Oh, I don't think I mentioned the previous prices. For the main portion of the farm is $44,736, and the sheep pasture is $82,200. So again, at $77,760, we can purchase this. And now you can see a new trigger, and that is our silo. This is the Pharma 800. Lots of storage, almost like a staging area for this one, as well as in here, repair trigger. So just some storage space on this portion of the farm, or of this, I don't know, this farm. We'll just say this farm because I can't think of a better word for it. And now we will come out this way. And we'll head to our next production point. Ooh, flying cars. Oh, now see, this is kind of a more pronounced, like what I was saying before, the kind of texture issues. Things like that. It's just small things that I've noticed. There's some kind of bigger things, but, you know, not like world-ending, but quite possible that a new kind of save game update will have to take place, so just keep that in mind before you start any big series or anything like that on this map. It's probably going to have an update. So here is the next production point. This is the sugar mill. You can purchase this for $80,000. It's just a standard sugar mill. That's not anything new that's been added to this particular one. Inputs are around the back, right back here, and outputs are in the front, right there in the hashed area. Hey, got right out. Nice. Now again, look at this. Just cool details like this village that's just been like fortified kind of thing. Like, that's cool. That's just cool. I like it. Let's see. First point of interest is back here. Have to take it a little bit slow. Again, you're going to want small equipment, small to medium-sized equipment for this map, because there's just way too much going on to get big honking pieces of equipment through here. This is the Fortified Village Bakery. You can purchase it for $50,000. This is modified. Inputs here, outputs up in the front. And what's different about this one, you can make bread, you can make cake, but you can also make the, I believe that's pronounced Giet Zini pasta. Giet Zini pasta. I think. Don't quote me. Let's see. Now again, go slow. It gets a little bumpy. Let's see. Oh, up here. Okay. Our next point of interest is right up here on our right. This is the Fortified Village sell point directly beside us. And then right here in front of us is the purchase of sewage sludge. This is a buy point. So the first one was a sell point. This is a buy point for slurry and manure. And then further down on our left, also called the Fortified Village sell point, right back there in the corner. And as you can see, if we go, whoa there, hoss. Jeepers creepers. So we were here at the kind of staging area, came out up and around to here. We checked out this sugar mill. Up here to the Fortified Village Bakery. We saw the Fortified Village, the purchase of sewage sludge, the Fortified Village. So you can see these two sell points are named exactly the same thing. That also might need to be updated. I'm not 100% sure about that one. Now we need to go this direction. Cut through this little area here. Now, this I thought was really cool. This giant stone that they just kind of carved out to make a bridge. Like, that's cool. That's just a cool little feature. Alright. Turn the page in my notes. For this map, I have 3 pages worth of notes. Like, this is a really kind of intense map. Right here you have a wardrobe trigger, and over here you have the tailor shop. You can purchase this for $100,000. This is a custom shop. You can make clothes, but it's the first time that you got to see that you have to use pallets as an input. Remember, you can either buy them or you can make them in another production, and I'll show you where that is later. But you can make clothes. You can also make grape seed cushions. Isn't that cool? Using fabric, raisins, and pallets, you make the cushions. I'm going to head down the road a little bit further over this bridge. And what's cool about this map is I feel like you get a little bit of everything. Like, look how wide open it is here, and where we were coming from is really kind of congested, little like village area kind of thing. And later we're kind of going to go into town, and it's really kind of compact and modernized. So it's like you've got this like old-timey kind of feel to it, like fortified village country, like blast from the past kind of thing, to the middle of nowhere with maybe 1 or 2 things kind of sprinkled in there, to like kind of like a major, like, I don't want to say city, but certainly a major town. Off to our left, we have the Store Town Farmer. This is Sell Point. Continuing down the road into this kind of main intersection directly in front of us, we're going to make a left. Ooh. We're going to cross over this bridge. Oh, easy. See, I'm getting too rambunctious. This is our next production point. The carpentry. You can purchase this for $60,000. This is custom, where you can make furniture out of wood, furniture out of planks, or pallets. So the recipe for this, 15 pallets equals 12, 15 planks equals 12 pallets, and you get some wood chips as leftovers. So you can make them, you can buy them. I think that's kind of a cool feature, that you can either make or purchase them. If you've ever played La Coronella, where pallets are literally everywhere, I don't think you can purchase the pallets. So you're very kind of limited on the amount of pallets that you can have, because you have to harvest trees then make the pallets, and you know, if you don't get into the cycle of planting trees and you have to wait several years for the trees to grow and mature, it's going to take a while before you can get the next growth cycle of pallets. So something that is kind of rough, but this one's kind of makes up for it. So we were here in the town. We saw the fortified town. We saw the bakery, the fortified village bakery, the fortified village Sell Point, the purchase of sewage sludge, and then the fortified village again. We came across the little stone bridge up to the tailor shop, over the bridge to the Store Town Farmer Sell Point, up to this main road, came across that bridge to the carpentry, and then came up here, up the road to this next area here. This is another purchasable farm for $158,520. You can now see all the triggers that pop up. First off, chickens. 70 chickens is the max you can have on this farm. The feed point is right here. You have another silo, a Pharma 800, as well as a pigsty, where you can have up to 500 pigs. Lots and lots of storage on this particular, I shouldn't say lots, but several places to store, equipment. You can get a decent amount of equipment out here. Nice thing about these kind of like, not farms, but kind of the making of a farm is, oh geez, the fact that pretty much they all have roughly the same stuff minus a house. So if you decide that you want to kind of keep your house but then expand to other parts of the map, you kind of have areas to grow into and have like equipment here, equipment there, kind of strewn about the map without having to necessarily shuttle it back and forth. So that's kind of nice. Sorry for my horrendous driving. I'm sitting trying to read my notes, making sure I'm heading in the right direction. Now, as you can see, there's tons of undulation and hills and all sorts of stuff on this map. So one thing that you are going to want to make sure that you do is make sure that you're getting equipment with high horsepower. So at the beginning when we were reading the description, it said something along the lines of high horsepower for your equipment. Well, this is why you need to have high horsepower in order to be able to get up these hills while running your various bits of equipment. So keep that in mind. Do not skimp on getting pieces of equipment with a good amount of horsepower, because there are several fields where the hills are brutal, just absolutely brutal. Like, look straight ahead. I mean, that field that's directly on the hillside there in front of us is, that's pretty steep. This is the cow pasture that we start out with. You can have up to 70 cows in this pasture. Water is over there, and I believe, where's the feed? Feed's on top of the hill, I think. Yep, there it is, back there. There's also a water point back here as well. Is there a water point right here? So it says there's a water trigger, but there's no trough. So my guess is that the water point's actually up there with the food. Again, another update might be needed for that as well. Next, we are heading to the next point of interest. Now, bear in mind there are two driveways right next to each other. When I first did my walkthrough to kind of introduce myself to this map, I completely missed this driveway. Had no idea it was there until I came up on the back side and realized there was something of interest over here. I came down this main driveway but didn't notice this driveway right here. You come all the way back here, and again we have another purchase point, another purchase land point. We'll hop over. So we were up in this corner here with the pigs and the chickens. We came back down, all the way down over the bridge, over these whoop-de-doos. At this intersection we started going north and then east to our cow pasture, and then came to here, down this side dirt road to here. Now, as you can see, purchasing this land for $216,768 also purchased this area up to the northwest. We'll go check that out here in a little bit. But this is a horse pasture. You can click here and see that you can purchase up to 16 different horses. This is another update that's going to happen. Now let's see if it does it again this time. We'll purchase all 16 horses so they kind of all just hang around, and we'll continue on and see if the issue occurs again. We'll hop the fence just because, save some time. This is the Pond Agricultural Cooperative sell point. This is where you can sell some loose grains. And here is the sell point for kind of box pallet items, typically from your production chains and things like that. Around the backside and into the front of the building is a buy point called the Purchase Pond Silo. Right here, the Purchase Pond Silo. So you can purchase items from that point. come out to our truck. Now, if my hunch is right, then we should see an issue right about there. Look at them horses. They've escaped their pen. How dare they? Oh, there's another one. These are the ghost horses. They just decide that they are going to go wherever they want to and go through the fence. That's okay. Hopefully we can make a lot of money on them when we sell them and tell people that, hey, these are ghost horses. You never know. You never know. Anyways, our next production point, this is the Lost House Dairy. This is a standard dairy. Does butter, cheese, and chocolate. And then around the back is kind of a mouthful. The bundles of the lost houses. This is a sell point. Looks like you can bring things to purchase. Not the, well, maybe loose grains, but looks like it will take like bundled items, you know, the production point items and things like that. Let's go say hi to the ghost horses again, as one just, you know, again passed through the fence. And there goes another one. So again, just gonna take an update, but you can see how the horses just kind of do their thing and wander through the fencing. And like I said, when we purchased that horse pasture, we also purchased this land up here. And right here. Starting here, we do have another Pharma 500 silo as well as a manure heap. And here we have another horse pasture, up to 16 horses, feed goes in there, as well as more chickens, up to 70 chickens, and the feed, it goes right over there. Okay. From here, whoa, Nelly. I'm not being too kind to my truck. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting everything so far. From here we're going to backtrack just a little ways. So that's the kind of the, I don't want to say it's an issue on this map, because it's not an issue, it's just there are certain points of interest where there's really kind of only one good way to get there, and if you either miss your turn or you're not, you know, taking the most optimal route kind of thing, then, you know, you kind of have to go out of your way to get to it. Next point of interest is another horse pasture for up to 16 horses. Food directly in front of me and water in the back. And if you're wondering, got a picture of the horse. So if you ever wonder which pastures are for what, a lot of them have the pictures on the side. Okay, this is our next production point. This is the sawmill. You can purchase this for $100,000. This is a standard sawmill, so nothing in particular that stands out about it. You can, sorry, I meant to buy that. You can make wood planks. You can make planks from wood. That is it. That's all you can. That's all you can make from this. So, kind of a good starting point for the pallets. Inputs are right here. Output for your wood chips right here. And then output for your pallets for planks is done right at that garage door right there. The hash mark right there. Now this is where it's going to start to get a little bit busy. A lot of stuff's going to happen very, very quickly. This is kind of that built-up area of town that I was mentioning earlier. So we are going to come out to this direction, and you know what? Once we stop, yoink! Ah, I tried to get in front of that car. Sorry about that. Anyways, right here is our first point of interest. We're gonna take a look at the map, see where we've been. So we were up here at the horse pasture and the Pond Agricultural Cooperative, as well as the Pond Purchase Silo. Came out around, we checked out the Lost House Dairy, as well as the bundles of the Lost House. Came back out to this intersection, down to here to this, down here, and up to this driveway where we checked out the chickens, the horses, the silo, the manure heap. Came back out, came all the way around to this kind of dirt path, checked out the horse pasture, and then came up to the sawmill, went around, came back out, and now down to here. Our next point of interest, the next production. Well, you would think it was the cereal factory, right? Well, not quite. Although it does do cereal. This is the food factory. You can purchase this for $110,000. And what can we make? Cereal, that's obvious. Popcorn. Again, with pallets, you can make popcorn. And you needed pallets for the cereal as well. Sugar popcorn. Now this is another thing that I think is going to need to be updated. And here's why. Sugar popcorn recipe. Honey, corn, pallets makes sugar popcorn. But here, sugar, corn, pallets equals honey popcorn. I think the recipes are backwards. I think that needs to be fixed. And that's most likely going to be in part of the update. Now you have natural ice cream. I assume that means vanilla ice cream, strawberry ice cream, honey ice cream, food factory. I think that's supposed to be chocolate ice cream. As you can see up there, it takes 2 chocolate for the recipe. And then chocolate ice cream, but it takes raisins. So, a few things that need to be updated for this particular mod. And then you have French fries, as well as the Gayet Zini tomato sauce. You see there's a symbol there, and that symbol is for tomato sauce. And we'll show you next where to make that tomato sauce and how to make it. Lastly, we have candy Tanangada? Yeah, it's... If nobody knew any better, I'd probably sound like I had a small stroke there. But that's okay. Candy Tanaganda. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let me know how to pronounce that, anybody, if you're willing to. Inputs there. Outputs here in the hash marks. And now we need to hop the fence because we're going directly next door to, well, look at that. It should be the raisins, right? Wrong. This is the processing of fruits and vegetables. So not just processing of raisins. What can we do here? Well, obviously, we can still do the raisins with the pallets. And grape juice. Still need pallets. Grape vinegar. You take your grape juice and pallets and you make grape vinegar. Strawberry vinegar. Strawberry and pallets. Tomato sauce, tomato and pallets. That's the recipe from the previous production point. So, pretty cool. You got these two that kind of like work hand in hand with each other. Gonna boogie on down here, just a little ways further. That's okay. right about here. Right here in front is the liquid input purchase. This is a buy point for things I believe like herbicide and liquid fertilizer. You know what? I can confirm that actually. Right about, oh, here we go. Herbicide, liquid input purchase. Perfect. I was correct. Liquid input purchase. Correct. Perfect. Right here, behind it, is the input purchases. Again, this is where you can purchase your dry goods, like solid fertilizer. Yeah, solid fertilizer, right there. And then back here, around the corner, is your lime station. Now we come out here and go directly across the street, leaving our truck to block all that traffic. Sorry, people. This is the shop. You can enter the shop menu right here. And then come out here is the repair trigger. I believe the repair point is somewhere in here, but I don't see a hash mark anywhere to indicate where the trigger would be. So again, might be something that needs to be updated. Let's see if I move the truck in here. Yeah, so you can see that it does recognize that this is the area for the repairs, so that's cool. I was worried there for a second that maybe that because the hash mark wasn't there, that wouldn't recognize an actual area to do the repairs. Oh, come on. Come down this little side street, and over here we have the animal dealer. This is where you can go to have animals delivered to specific pens throughout your map. Now, one thing I will say, and again, another issue and another thing that's going to have to be fixed. Now, just really quickly, we first checked out the food factory, came down further south, hopping the fence, checking out the processing of fruits and vegetables. We then saw the liquid input purchase as well as the input purchase and the lime station. Then we came across the street and we saw the repair center as well as the shop. Now, this is where the other update will have to happen, or the other part of the update will have to happen. You can see here the vehicle shop is labeled directly behind where the animal trader is. And then over here is the repair center. Well, both of these are right on top of each other. These should be right on top of each other right over in this area here. If I were to click on this and then click visit, it will shoot me all the way back over to where the actual trigger point is for the shop. But for some reason, it's over here on the map. So, not a huge deal. Again, it's just something that needs to be updated. Now, our next point of interest as we run a whole bunch of people over is right here. This, going to our map, is a sheep field. As you can see, 150 sheep can be held here, water over there, food right there, and then running back towards where our truck is parked, hop this fence, we have the spinnery. This is a standard production point for $60,000, the spinnery of the Alpine Center. And again, you can make fabric from either wool or cotton. So again, nothing too fancy with that one. Back in our truck, we go to the north ever so slightly, and this is the second part of our introductory farm. You can see there's a bunch of storage with the overhead storage space, or overhanging shelters. We've got our big square baler as well as our bale trailer. A lot of our starting front end loader equipment is right here. And see, here's a lot of our starting equipment as well. Our tractors, our Kloss, and our New Holland, as well as our Deutz-Fahr and the header and header trailer. Coming around the backside, we have another Pharma 500 silo, as well as our large petrol tank. You can purchase diesel directly or load into it from a tanker. We have a manure heap to our right for the cows, as well as the cow barn, where you can have up to 80 cows at a given time. This is the milk point right here. Around the back, or I should say through here, is the feeding point. And then straight ahead we have the slurry, as well as another cow pasture. 175 cows can be held in this particular pasture. We've got food over there. It's saying water over here for some reason, but again, this might need to be updated. But water over in this direction here, and you can kind of see a little trough right here. So I'm gonna say that one with the trough is the one we want to put water into. Just a hunch. Just a thought. And come out here. This is our next sell point. This is the, where is it in my notes? The Little Alpine Pizzeria, Small Alpine Pizzeria. And looking at where we were here at the animal dealer, came up this little side street, checked out the sheep pasture, then we came up to the spinnery of the Alpine Center, went circling through the secondary yard where we saw the cow pastures as well as the cow barn, and then came back out here to the Small Alpine Plaza. If we come around and make a right, over here is the next point of interest. This is the Shallot Boiler. For some reason I didn't write this one down, but this is, I believe, just kind of like the biomass heating plants, where you have a wood sell point and you can probably sell wood and wood chips. If we were to make a... No, don't cut me off. If we were to make a right at that turn there and come down this little side strip here, you can see the debris crusher right there where you can sell stones. Coming down this side street, like look at how steep that hill is right there. Like you even got like stone kind of etched into the hillside, and that's why some of the crop is like missing right there. It's more stone than it is field. Like that's going to require some major horsepower getting up and down those. So no dinky motors on this map. Right over here is the gas station. Now up ahead here is not necessarily a point of interest as much as it's just a cool feature on the map in my opinion. If you look here, we got a couple of trebuchets just kind of sitting here on the side of the road, but right back here in the background is like, it's a fort that has been modernized to be kind of a tourist attraction. Like how cool is this? And not only is this like a like just kind of decorative piece, but you can actually go up to it and in it and around and see everything that's in it. Like you can almost, like I could totally see using this as like a cool part of like a let's play, you know, kind of narrative kind of thing. Just so cool. Like look at that, like supposed to be like stained glass. Like so cool, and it's all out here. And look what I found. I found a collectible. Haha. So that to me is just so cool. But we'll jump down there and go back to the truck. So anyways, just a cool little side note. Like I said, it's just one of those that just adds a little something to the game. Adds a little something to the map that I think is really kind of slick. Now, just ahead of us on our left, now on our right, is the next sell point. This is the restaurant sell point. And then again, another mouthful back here is the To the Happiness of Gayet supermarket. It's essentially a supermarket. Now up here we want to make a right to check this out. Again, this is another purchase point. So we were here at the Small Alpine Pizzeria. We then came around the side to the Shallot Boiler. We passed by the Debris Crusher, came down south to this intersection, looped around into the gas station, came back down here and checked out the restaurant as well as the To the Happiness at Gayet. Came down into the side street to right here where we were purchasing a cow pasture. Ooh, I am stuck. I am still stuck. There we go. At this cow pasture you can store up to 50 cows. And water is there. Food is right there. Now, if you can recognize this, this is essentially where we were when we were doing the boars. This is the boar forest right here. Now this is what I was talking about, like the big kind of area that stood out to me that would need to be updated. It's like, look at all this, like this kind of directly in front of us, like all that stuff like just kind of stands out here right in front of us again. Just really stands out and makes it look kind of weird to me at least. Right here is the BGA, and you can purchase this for $875,000. And just pennies. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Just pennies. Inputs for all your solids right here. For your liquids, inputs right here, aka slurry. And then your outputs for your digestate is right back here. Like one other thing that I noticed on this map that I thought was really cool is you saw like over by the boar forest there was a bunch of like hunting what looked to be like hunting, like not cabins but little elevated hunting points. So it looks like people might use it like a reserve or kind of thing. But you also saw these like little buildings. They're not buildings. They're like, I believe they're meant for pigeons. From way back in the day, they used to house pigeons to be trained and used for messaging and things like that. And they're not like aviaries, I don't think. They had a specific name and I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. Anyways, I digress. This is our next point of interest. This is the oil mill. This is a custom oil mill to where you can see sunflower oil requires sunflower and pallets, canola and pallets, olives and pallets, but hey, grape oil, that's a new one. You need raisins and pallets. Corn oil, also need corn and pallets. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of pallet work on this map, and at least you can purchase it, so that's pretty sweet. Inputs here over the grate, outputs here in the hashtag or hash marks. We are almost done. We are rapidly approaching the end. But check that out. More details. Directly in front of us, that observatory tower right there. Like, that's kind of cool. That's pretty sweet. Coming down this little side path. And up to here. And you can see this is a pig pasture where you can house up to 250 pigs. Food, there is no water that's needed for this particular pasture, at least as far as I could tell. There is a food trigger down behind that hill, slurry out there, and then the last point of interest is right here. This is the Purchase Quarry Treaty, where you can purchase lime, stones, and sandstone. I'm not 100% sure what the sandstone is used for or needed for. I didn't notice anything in particular that would use it. So that is the map. It is opinion time. With all the things that are sitting in kind of this issue having state, I always grade the map down because of the issues at hand. So 0 to 5 scale is my normal scale. With all the issues right now, I would give this a 2. Similar to another map review I just did yesterday, the Wild River Forest. Several issues I found with that one. I believe it was Wild River Forest. Again, don't quote me, but it was here recently. I'm going to give this a 2. When the update comes out and those items get addressed and fixed, I would easily give this a 5. Easily 5 stars. I think this is brilliant. I think this is absolutely fantastic. Just the amount of detail that the map maker put into this, the amount of time that would have taken just to do all this undulation, all these stones that are just kind of chilling here, the types of topography that's available, the addition of the two custom crops, just everything about this map just screams like they just took their time and they made something that was a labor of love. Like, you could tell that they put tons and tons and tons of effort into this. I mean, looking straight out, you can see just all the details. You've got the couple of, you got the overhead, not overhead, the wooden bridge right there. You've got I believe that's the milk dairy point over there. You could just, tons and tons of details that just really kind of sets us apart and is very, very darn close to La Coronella levels of awesome. There is something that's missing that would not put it on the same page, in my opinion, as La Coronella, but it's really close. It's very, very close. Yeah, that's my opinion. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, doing all the things, commenting, doing all the things that the algorithms enjoy you're doing to show that you're engaged with this channel. Wow, you know what? Let's try that again. Like, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things that the algorithms enjoy you doing to show that you are enjoying and engaged with this channel. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.